You're listening to the Trading Bear podcast. This is episode 11, The Daily Show.
Mystery player. Position.
Defender.
Start price.
£2.34.
Current price.
£3.86.
PB.
42p.
MB.
21p.
Dividend yield.
16.32%.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining in. In the news today, Zidane has rejected the chance of going back to Madrid. He's quoted, "Not now, maybe in June," after a personal call from Perez, the current president. Solskjaer has labelled not mission impossible in regards to Manchester United turning over a 2-0 first leg defeat with their match against Paris Saint-Germain in Paris tonight. And multiple sources claim it could be Roma boss Eusebio Di Francesco, the last match in charge of Roma, should they fail to hold on to their 2-1 advantage held in the first leg. So it's all about the Champions League tonight, as it was last night, and all four players in today's Risers and Fallers come from Real Madrid and Ajax. Real Madrid 1, Ajax 4 was the surprising but definitely not shocking result from last night, and it had massive repercussions for players on both sides of the teams. We'll start with the risers, which means starting with Ajax. Hakim Ziyech is our first riser then today, the 25-year-old Moroccan attacking midfield player. He's gone up 34p today and now sits at £3.86. His career to date has seen him start in Heerenveen, then transferred to 20 before playing for his current club Ajax, so he spent his whole career in the Dutch league, and now seems set to make move to one of Europe's biggest clubs over the summer, and that's what people will be hoping for, or at least those that have bought shares in him. If he does make that move to an elite club in Europe, then we'll have to wait and see whether or not he can hold his price. His current BP scores aren't actually that great. He scored 188 last night, which is great, but after that his next highest PB score is 124, which is never going to win him PB dividends. His goal scoring record is good though, at around about 1 and 2 for country and 1 and 3 for club, so at the right club he may become a good option. Ziyech's teammate at Ajax, Dusan Tadic, provide us with today's second riser, and he's gone up 38p to £1.28. The ex-Southampton man, who's now 30 years of age, ran the show last night at the Bernabeu and really looked like the star man. He picked up 12p for dividends. However, that was the only dividend he's won all season. At the age of 30, he's not perhaps one to get a transfer back to a big club, and his price of £1.28 reflects that. He actually spent 4 years at Southampton, but never really looked like setting and hitting the highlights that his reputation looked like it might. He did, however, make 134 appearances at time Southampton, scoring a few goals along the way, and he's carried that on this season where he's hit 16 goals in 23 appearances, albeit in a much softer league. Now, on the other side of that Ajax coin is the less than pretty Real Madrid coin. The club looks in turmoil. There's going to be a huge summer overall there in Madrid, with changes throughout the club. We're not just looking at the manager here, we're looking at players, the squad, the manager, even the president. There's going to be a huge shake-up at Madrid in the summer. Now, today's faller is somewhat ironically perhaps one of their better performers this season, and certainly the man they hope that can carry them forward to win their next 3 or 4 Champions League, and that player is Vinicus Jr. He fell 98p today to £10.12. Now, yesterday at the time of the game at half time, his price fell and then immediately rose within 30 seconds, about 50p. And there's a lot to talk about this being a group manipulation. Just a massive listing of a player to artificially get the price down, gets a few extra shares, and then delist the shares, his price whacks up to £10.50 again. This may have caught a few people out, ISing around about £9.50 and £9.60. This is the perils of ISing a player, especially a young player who within about 2-3 months time is almost guaranteed to get his price way back up again. Now, as a bit of a perfect storm for Junior, not only did Real Madrid go out, he also got an injury to his ankle about 23 minutes into the match, and it's been confirmed today that was an ankle injury and he tore his ligaments. So he looks like a spell on the sidelines, 2-3 months, it looks like his season is over. So the fall was due to his injury, Real Madrid falling out, the crisis going on at Real Madrid. It all conspired into a huge drop of 98p. So at one end of the spectrum, you have a player just starting out his Real Madrid career. He's 18 years old and does look to have a bright future ahead of him. The other end of that spectrum, you see a player that's played for 10 years at Real Madrid now and looks to be feeling the burden of being the main man up front. He's carrying Benzema, and he also fell last night and this morning, and he dropped 29p down to his current price of £1.78. Now his record is pretty decent. He scored 138 goals in 302 appearances, so over 1 in 3. He's hit one dividend this season at 12p. So he actually looks like quite a good acquisition now for G&A. Regardless of what's going on around Madrid, they're still a big team. They're still going to create plenty of chances in the matches. And with a kind run of fixtures, £1.78 for the main striker, he looks like a good option now for G&A for in-play dividends, goals and assists. However, come the summer, as I've previously mentioned, it's going to be a huge summer for Madrid, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Benzema, if not leave the club, certainly be replaced as the main man. Rumours linking him to Neymar, Hazard, who knows, even Harry Kane. He's certainly not a long-term hold, but with the right fixtures, for a 3-4 week punt, I think he's pretty good price now. Let's have a look at some of your questions now then. And we start off with a question from Harry in Leicester, who writes, how many futures do you need to buy for a player's price to go up 1p? Well, Harry, the exact algorithm used to determine when a player moves up has today yet to be revealed. However, we do know through traders' experimentation and indeed vague hints by those in FA Towers, Adam, Kieran and Mike, that it's roughly 100 futures per player. Now, of course, this will change in the next couple of weeks as the share price and dividends look set to change, but for the time being, about 100 futures per player. Today's second question comes from Zlatan365 on the forum, and he asks, I've convinced my friend to join Football Index. What is the one piece of advice I should give him as a new trader? Great question, Zlatan, to go with your great name. Now, there's lots of different answers here. You could answer with understanding the mechanics of how a player wins MB and PB. Maybe you'd look at avoiding the top 5 risers on the site itself. Maybe someone else would answer using IS sparingly, so you don't want to use instant sell all the time. However, my advice to a new trader would be this. Always write down the reasons why you've bought a player. The reasons for this are very simple. At times like this, near the end of the season, where the games come thick and fast and there's huge volatility in the prices, Junior being an example from last night, you need to be sure why you bought that player in the first place. Having it physically written down, or at least written down in the spreadsheet, you can refer back to that and look back, oh yes, I bought this player because he's great for MB, or oh yes, I bought this player because he's got great fixtures in the next 3 or 4. This will avoid you insta-selling or making a rash decision in-game, in play. Making these rash decisions will cost you money over the long term, and you're only going to lose money long term. However, if you've made a rational decision and you wrote down the reasons why you bought that player in the first place, you're much more likely to hold steady, have that extra patience needed, and as a result, be a winner as opposed to a loser. Now, that's not to say that every trade you make is going to be a winner just because you wrote down the reasons why you bought that player. Of course not. That's highly unrealistic for every trader to make the correct decision time after time. But it will, in theory at least, ensure that you make 60-70% good decisions with 20 to 30 bad decisions. If you don't write down your reasons and you do just make rash decisions, that percentage figure is likely to be reversed. You're likely to make 60 to 70 bad decisions and 20 to 30% good decisions. Over time as well, when you analyse your buys, you analyse your sells, having those reasons in place, you can see what works and what doesn't for your personal strategy. My advice, always write down the reasons why you buy a player. That's it for this episode then. You can download and subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify and Podbean. Head over to the website to send in a question, tradingbearpodcast.com. Alternatively, you can find me on Index Gain or Twitter under the name Trading Bear. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for the mystery player.
Mystery player. Position.
Defender.
Start price.
£2.34.
Current price.
£3.86.
PB.
42p.
MB.
21p.
Dividend yield.
16.32%.
Trading Bear. Today's mystery player was Sergio Ramos.